Yes, comrades, we are late by about 6 minutes. Everyone is changa, so I had to look for an indoor venue. That's why you had to delay by those means. You know it's not our practice because we avoid methods of Owiny-Dollo. Fixes the case at 9:30. He comes at 11, no apology, no what. He appears to be very annoyed to everybody around court, so we are different. Yes, I told you I would be live from this hour, and I said I would be discussing several issues. I said I would be discussing Kabaka land case. I would be discussing the 7 separate ordeals, Owiny-Dollo 1.5 billion scam, and others. So I'm hopeful. This time will be important. So we shall be discussing those. Yes, long time, but this was live because sometimes we become so busy, especially in these Museveni wars, which are so many cases, what and what. As I've always been telling you, our East African Court of Justice appeal will soon be coming up for hearing, I expect, because the only impediment which we were struggling with was discussing the appointment of judges. Judges had not yet been appointed. There were vacancies from Rwanda, the president retired, I think, and from Burundi, yes. So there were a few judges, so they could not handle the case. I think there are about 3 vacancies, yet we need at least 3. So the judges were appointed, as I have been notifying you. Therefore, when they are appointed, it means that the case at any time will be heard. You know, it's a voluminous case, many things, many arguments. Just imagine from Mbale when we started off at Mbale in age limit case up to this day when we are still arguing that case. Surely you can see how voluminous it is. So that's why it is important when we prepare earlier the better. I've been telling you it's an expensive appeal case. You have been following it here. Since Mbale, you see how voluminous the work has been. So that's why it is important up to now we move so swiftly. Fundraising is again a mass, and when we say fundraising, some people think these things are for granted. But we are fighting a dictator who was stealing money for 35 years, a dictator who has capacity to buy everyone, a dictator who has a forest of lawyers, because every lawyer who wants money, wants to eat money, goes to that dictator. So at the end of the day, you must go there prepared. Otherwise, so fundraising is still ongoing and under our normal channels. Let me first panic number 0701 88 1231. That's also our WhatsApp number, and 0779 86 9880. Yes, why we are insisting on fundraising? Because there is a feeling which you people must forget, that whites will come here and fight for us. No. Over when you sue, then they are sponsors, they are whites, they are donors. No. I think you discovered that when Museveni closed DGF. And DGF was not actually sponsoring these things. I think one time we had an exchange with them when one of my colleagues was telling them, was proposing, I think the case was even still at a lower level. They were saying we don't fund contentious issues. But all the same, even when they don't fund contentious issues, the dictator clamps down on them. So until we as countrymen do whatever we can, on our part, we give out our lives and survive what and what. Then when you tell you please fundraise, it will work. Other than keeping quiet, in other countries, fundraising is a normal thing. When I normally follow campaigns in the US, bakolachi okuwa interview bajita bata debate babuza sente mekazi bakuwadde basente mekazi bakufanga fundraising. So depending on how much money zibaka fundraising, that's how they call you for interview for a debate. So these are serious matters. When you tell unity banaye muleta akasente bwe mwalete, we mean it, and if you don't do it, then naffe tujja tukatika tukyasobola otekemu ezo zigweyo okolotya finally ekinavaamu okoleki okiveeko. And I don't think we want to be in a country where lawlessness prevails, buli omu ng'alyamu buli sente. Yes, sibakubagizanga Ssaabasumba Lwanga. I've never come live okuva Lwanga lwe yafa kitalo, but that shows you how insecure everyone is here, especially kasita abanga ajeyo omutwe n'agamba nti agenda kuwakanya oli byagamba Museveni byakola ki byayogera. So insecurity eyo yenalo agamba nti awakanya Museveni, I think ekyalwanga kyaba proving no one is safe. Naye era bannayuganda mwogerako bugezi bwe mwogera awo nemumani mubuuza birawo byakusaaga, and life goes on, and that's how a despotic rule keeps on moving nga tuli awo tetuvaawo. So Lwanga bakulaga yafudde mangu, simanya obudde bukedde nga afiiridde mu nnyumba ate tebabitegeera, ate omwabo simanyi Museveni aguwambye mbw ate agufola kololo, simanya yambadde suuti, simanya helicopter. So a lot, and going by what you are saying, by the way, so naye nga kyabaawo nekyalo kwago nti yakola businga, in addition to Mabirizi mwamanya bulungi nti yali akola ki, yalina gundi yalina era bamukolako e Nairobi, kakati ndoza nalowooza atereddemu naddamu nakola businga. So bye mbagamba, no one is safe. Naye abamu babawoza byakusaaga. Dictators don't work like that. Dictators are serious. So kasabiriro kwaga awone akomewo okukyalo kwagonja akubabalira bwembala bwetwali nga bwetwava okuva twagenda mu age limit case paka kati abantu abasalawo okulemera ku nsonga abagamba kuba compromise, because to take you back at constitutional court many cases were filed challenging Museveni age removal. Omwali babedi bwanika abani many reaching Mbale, only 5 cases were sorted to be heard, people who are ready to proceed with their cases. Mwalimu Prosper Businge ne banne from Fort Portal, mwalimu Abaine yakubiri, mwalimu Galosate yakusatu, mwalimu baye mpisa wachikira lukwago yakuna, of course ne yange yasookayo. So those were the 5. Now from Mbale bamaka basigalawo, because from Mbale everything was abambali bagamba tetujulira, but then then I was joined by Ukwago, never MPs. Prosper was singing that I cannot solve appeal. But that not solve appeal, while I bang and the news conference, never gamba bo bakizudenga Owiny-Dollo basale mbali byali bituufu nnyo. I think that conference was at Africana and organized by NRM. So NRM ne tuza press conference ne bagamba bo bakizudde tebalaba konsala nnungi nnyo nga yembaali. So at the end of the day they said they are withdrawing the appeal. So we remained 3 people, 3 appeals, MPs are representing Walukwago, Eyange, Niagara Society. Ugalo Society is represented by Wandero Garo. Name opende ensawo Wandero Garo baka bagenda mu asimanyo obwa Constitutional Review Commission. Tubera kati kyebadde jawo balaga nti Lukwago era akolanira Lwakafuzi kati mulema. Surely Lem cannot move on his own, he cannot appear in court anymore. Yatuuka sebo oti muzanyi yatuuka na ne bagamba afunye stroke n'agenda kundiri kati nakati yalemala but nganze amanyisule ebyafaayo ezo stroke nazo olusi zibaamu state machinery. Waliwo documentary gye nalaba wano Mukuta Lumumba, when the villagers wanted to kill Lumumba, one man said omukubali ku mulimo ogwokola ki ogobakwaso okuta Lumumba yagamba one of the methods they had thought of yali yakwa Lumumba kutwanga nga bakutadde mu toothpaste. You can go to YouTube osogirako eyo gundi eyo documentary. One of the methods they were going to okukola okuta Lumumba twali tugenda kumuwa obutwa nga lubunadde mu toothpaste. So then twali omuwadde afune polio. That's what he said in English. You could get polio. So Lwakafuzi yafuna polio. Ndowooza omusawo gwe yasemba okubaamu obuli serious gw'embaale paka ku Supreme Court gye twawuliriza ne Museveni kwegirimiti oyo nafuna polio. Lukwago ali in and out. Kati ku balamuzi abadisentinga twalina omulamuzi Kakulu Embaale yadisentinga Owiny-Dollo n'amuwalana era n'amugoba yali yamuwa ekifaawo ekyokuba gundi administrative head nga ye head of registries yasalawo omusango ky'ogenda okuwulirwa unaawulirwa balamuzi ki. Kasita lwagenda Embaale Owiny-Dollo Kakulu n'adisentinga n'ekifo yakimugobako nga bwe yagoba ekisaakye n'ekisaakye naye yamugobye because okuva edda nedda judge ali most senior yabadde nga abeera administrator wa Supreme Court. Kale Owiny-Dollo kasita yakayanyemu n'ekisaakye yamugobye ekifo nakyo yakimugobyeko. So njala basosolya ba judges, I want to show you how deep, how serious ebintu by'okukanya Museveni bwe biri nti biri life threatening. So Kakulu ne bamugobako ekyo ekifo. I don't know. Naye oluvannyuma simanyi waliwo yakola judgment awo n'agaba Besigye agende yeerayize. Simanyi bw'ayimiridde. Ku Supreme Court walina abalamuzi 3, Mwangusha, Mugamba ne Professor Kirukubinza. Mwangusha yali tayalinga mangu. Sebo ndi mu kubanja ssente zange naye nja kuddira nkyali wano kulayo. Kakati mbadde mbagamba Justice Mwangusha yali tayalinga yayagera kuweza myaka 7 n'agenda. Justice Mugamba waali naye ku Mugwakyagulanyi yabadde nnyo group y'Owiny-Dollo y'omu ku balese kisaakye mu tent y'omu ku bagamba nti abira bitu bazigobe. Justice Professor Kirukubinza oyo ye bamukozeko effujjo lyonna yafuna omulimu Sseikirizi Kabito ng'agamba nti akola Judicial Service Commission n'agamba tajja kugenda kubako tebamuwadde lukusa n'ateeka n'ekirango mu New Vision nti bo tebannaba kuwaako Justice gundi Professor lukusa kugenda kukolera Sseikirizi kati mulwadde seriously. That's why teyali mu session yaki mweno yakyagulanyi teyali nga mulwadde bamulongoosa ne bagamba embeera n'akutereera. So ye situation gye tubeeramu nga walowooza nti babyakusaaga mbadde mbabalira how it is life threatening and how oba oba Badiraka, oba Museveni Mulogo, oba Chichi, oba Kaunda. I don't know. But that's it. Baloya bonna abali mu musango abali ku front line Mugambi oli mulema omulala mulwadde omulamuzi wuyo naye mulwadde. So that's how it is okulwanyisa Museveni ate ng'oli mu midst olemeddewo. So that's why okusabira kwabwe kikulu nnyo namwe abaala okuvaayo because dictators tebalwanyisa tujja balwanyisa buli fekka. Every person akole kyasobola okukola, buli omu akole kyasobola okukola, do your part. Ate mujenga bukyali at least twabalabirako naye junta ye bwatyo bwali. So that's why lukwago tumusabira then bwomugattako ne Lwanga Kabaka naye abamu bamugatta mu bya Museveni naye Kabaka tumi yali yakyuka dda yali takyali kuba kyalennyinga Museveni yakoma 2010 nga n'esatu awo kasita yakola endagaano eyo ya memorandum n'akyuka ennaku zino abadde asambira Museveni mupiira mpozi nakwogera kweru ya siriimu. Anyway naye yalabiseeko but point nze gye nzija mu bya Kabaka sigenda kudda ku mulwadde oba si mulwadde whatever. Dishonesty y'emmengo, and that will bring me to Kabaka land case. Dishonesty y'emmengo yafuuse kati it has become so clear mu bintu bya Kabaka okulabika nga mulwadde. Mayiga azalimbalimba abantu, and that has been his method of work. You see, when I told you in 2016 when abasajja bayayi babba ttaka lyaffe abantu bagamba Mabirizi biki but now the point is dishonesty. Mayiga yagamba Kabaka agenda kugulawo empiira gy'amasaza ekitende ewa Mulindwa. Abantu ne beesonga ne bagamba akatulinde Kabaka agulewo empiira gy'amasaza. Teyajja. Mayiga nawe explanation ng'eri kiriya ng'agamba nti Kabaka ekimuganya okujja yagenze mu bwangu nyasinkana abanywanyi b'emikago mu Kenya bazze mu bwangu. Nenga mikwano gye nti Mayiga gwe mmanyi kati era abalimba abanywanyi b'emikago tebayinza kujja without notice. Teri nnyonyi ebuuka bubusi mu bbanga nga terina ki. Anyway ffe ne tulinda era alwabadde agamba wano nti yali tamanyi nti at one time ajja kujja alabike. But that's how dishonest they are. They lie you everything. Bwala okuchapa mu ngalo nga Mayiga ali abalimba simanyi kakati bw'ofuna liizi kakati bw'olifuna bw'onaafuna liizi era lisigala liryo common sense nga gavana tula wasirusiru. So nze ye point ye highlight genda byo muyokayoka nti obulimba bwa Mayiga ne group eyo tule Mmengo ne Betaka yaffe ne kola biki tegambwa ko tekola ki awo bwerabikira. Eyo sijja genda nnyo ku Mutebi bayinza okugamba ndi sadist biki especially okuba nti ndi mutalo nabo, so sijja kugenda nnyo. So Kabaka land case na posting wano, as you know, this case began way back in 2016. But unfortunately, the backlog system in our country, the judicial system in our country has kept this case unresolved up to today. And moreover, actually, even the merits have never been heard. So, that case was heard, I think, last year after the lockdown had been eased a bit. The Supreme Court summoned us. We had 5 judges who had the appeal. That was Opiya Aweri, Mugamba, Mwonda, Professor, and Butera. So Butera became a Deputy Chief Justice. Of course, illegal, as you know. He was never, the appointment is illegal and it's under challenge, but he became anyway. So he left Supreme Court. He went to Court of Appeal. So there is no way they could write a judgment when Butera was sereko kajambo ogamba otya enize mukazi kasi oba bakowe mu kisibo muno baseka bali kowe mu kisibo muno. So mbadde ngamba, so the case could not proceed to judgment because omukubo yali avuddeko, and had they proceeded then that would be illegal. So about summoning last week tugende bafunye panel empya bagenda kuulirwa. Of course, I was going to call with the panel Jibari Bampade because almost everybody in the Supreme Court complained coming from Jaguar petition, the way they conducted themselves. But I think the other day, Tuesday, they were akati tubisazizaamu station tegenda kubaayo. But we wanted to appeal because appeal maybe for starters, but better how come we are on that appeal. That appeal comes as follows. When I filed my case in 2016, Kabaka filed an application that I deposit 500 million shillings in court as security because I was poor and he was not sure that I would be able to pay his costs in case I lose. That was his point. That application is called an application. Njagala go ofuna omukazi nsereko. Go ofuna omukazi bakoye mu kisibo. Eba ero jabbisobola. So Kabaka nasava security for costs 500 million. I'm broke. I'm dimwavu tamanyi property zange. So as that was pending, I also filed an application requesting for bank statements, requesting for land titles, requesting for a register of people registered so far. So Judge Masaza Waswa agreed with me and ordered that those documents be given to me before the case could proceed. To the judge and actually to me, I thought that was a simple matter. That was a simple matter. Told out of confidential issues. Told out of confidential issues. So that was a simple matter. When Nalindo was up, but it became a big matter to Mengo. Mengo again did a press conference in They appealed that decision. I opposed the appeal because I was so clear that this is a discretion of a court. When someone says, I want to look at your documents, so we be disclosing mugende mu maaso. So mengo ekyo kyakikola ne ejulira ne tugende wantende obula ne muhanguzi where they had that appeal but in a dramatic manner in 2018. I think it's 2018 around October there. Nasala appeal when basala appeal eyo bagisala ntende nga agamba omulamuzi yakola nsobi okumpa ebiwandiiko because yalowooza omusango gwali incompetent. Yet that was not the case before him. The case before him was whether Kabaka should bring the documents or not. Actually, that objection egamba nti omusango gwali incompetent bali bagimutrese wa justice adonyo n'agigoba n'agamba ogende mu maaso n'abajulizi nga balandise okujja. Kati ne bikyankalana ngenda ku Supreme Court n'engamba adonyo ayimirizeemu paka adonyo wa High Court paka wonna Supreme Court bwena asala omusango adonyo yagamba nti agugobye nga ogugobye ati ngugobye akati ntende yabawa sente bibiri kati nebibeera awo. So appeal ya Supreme Court a challenging mainly the main thrust is the setting aside of Justice Judge Basaza Waswa's judgment ordering Kabaka to avail us bank statements, land titles and the register because twabagamba twagala sente zo bazize. We want that money to be refunded to the people because we are saying this land is trust land. This is trust property and we are the beneficiaries, and being the beneficiaries there is no way trustee can tell us that we should rent that land from him. Normally nizenga basomera ebbanga ddene constitution kyegamba naye sijja kuwa kusoma article 246 3A ekola ki egamba the institution of a national cultural leader shall be a corporation sold with a succession and with capacity to sue and be sued and to hold assets or properties in trust for itself and for people concerned. So point ya fenkulu musango konti trustee toyinza kutugamba nti ayetu kupangisa eketaka. You cannot lease us our own land because the law says the land is ours, therefore ettaka lyaffe then toyinza kutupangisa. That is the argument ya fenkulu. From then muvamu discovery ebiwandiiko, from discovery ebiwandiiko at local Supreme Court, and I think bwe tunafuna abalamuzi abatuufu bajja kuwulira. Museveni's separate oil deals. Ebanga lyetolodde simanyi, I'm not so sure about deal bagamba nti ebinyere by'amafuta. But since that mafuta was Museveni yagamanya, in some situations agayita gage agamba my oil okakasanya okamanya nti agayita gage ebunyole eyo abuli bagamba nti waliwo osimanya amafuta SFC egane ekumawo. Then I don't know oba Museveni bamugamba nti waliwo technology ayinza okubba amafuta, you know, nti field webeerawo oba bagenda kujja bakola eki. So abajasi bakumana amafuta ago, there is a way it treats it as such. They have negotiated many things, but the same mafuta zino simanye tulo simanye ze simanye kuziza gundi bali baba yana handshake ba gundi ba musisi. A lot has been going on, but one main thread happens here, that Ugandans are out of this equation. The Ugandans as a whole don't know what is going on except what they communicate. Now there is this, now there is this. Now question is, if you are managing our resource, which is a mineral, which is oil, why shouldn't we know what is going on? We have never seen any agreement, nothing at all. So we hear Museveni again. Up to now, my mind is suspicious of how we failed to make a pipeline. First of all, Museveni told us that we would make a refinery here. Of course, it would be a better deal. From there, I said no. A refinery will delay. Let's make a pipeline so that we transport crude oil, crude without any processing. But again, my mind has questions. Lwaki omuntu oleka ruti ye Kenya nyimpi? Because obunyoro kuyite Kenya tuke Mombasa kumpi. No, it Tanzania wali nnyo. What wali interest yawo? Is it that sometimes ezimu uhuru yaziga nawe Kenya, you know, Magufuli nazikiriza, something like that. Anyway, they were here on Sunday. Newaga abasayinize endagaano simanyi misatu de. But all the same, tumanya endagaano tebatubula tamu ziri mu ndagaano. Not even reporters ababeerayo mukimanyi ba reporting bya tewali agamba nti endagaano egamba bweti, nti endagaano egamba bweti, endagaano egamba bweti. So I think it was about that. Ku Monday yabadde 12 nempandikira permanent secretary wa Ministry of Energy and Mineral Development bamwita n'omukyala ndoza yoba yeka Sunday omanyawo nawo Museveni abagobye enkyana eggulo waliwo gwe yali simanyi dokita simanyi lisabalija naye n'amugoba agobye bangi. In that letter I said access to the host government agreement for the pipeline, tariff and transportation agreement, and shareholding agreement in respect of the planned East African crude oil pipeline. Nemugamba mwajira wakawambala kansome. I'm a civic active Uganda and aware that under Article 174 of the Constitution, you are the custodian of all your ministry's information. Pursuant to Article 41 of the Constitution, which provides that every citizen has a right of access to information in the possession of the state or any other organ or agency of the state, I have exercised that right to request for access to the host government agreement for the pipeline, tariff and transportation agreement, and shareholding agreement in respect of the planned East African crude oil pipeline, to which Uganda is a party, whose signing ceremony occurred on 11th April 2011. Paragraphs 26 and 29, A and F of the National Objectives and Directive Principles of State Policy in our Constitution require that, quote, all lawful measures shall be taken to expose, combat, and eradicate corruption and abuse or misuse of power by those holding political and other public offices, unquote. This is very important when it comes to oil, because in many countries, public officers have used oil sources for their personal enrichment to the detriment of citizens, despite huge revenues from oil. There is information linking senior Uganda government officials involved in the pipeline project to corruption-related offences. Hence the need to access the agreements to ensure that any criminality or wrongdoing is quickly detected and perpetrators dealt with as soon as possible. President of Section 3, 5, and 34 of the Access to Information Act 2005, which give you no option but to grant me access. So, the law says, wakuwandikira access request olina respond kako munako abiri mulungu. Either way, oba n'ogamba nsaba obudde obulala mu nnyongere oba sibirina oba mbiri naawe kibi naye kati wano bwebiri because we know endagaano zasayiningibwa ziri ssatu esooka host government agreement for the pipeline kati host government ndowooza Uganda actually Tanzania egenda okuhostinga pipeline because ejja tambula etuuke wali bagajenga awo bamale bagatambuze bagatunde so ndowooza balina okukola endagaano eyo tariff and transportation because when commodities pass through someone's territory emmotoka bwe zijja yamafana ejja neyite mu Uganda ng'egenda e Rwanda bazijjako tariffs n'engeri gye zitambulamu nesayingwa ndowooza kikyalese wano president we Tanzania then ne shareholding agreement pipeline bane bannanyiniyo baginamu emigabo emeka biki arrangement eri etya lwaki balina emigabo bwe gityo so those are the three agreements they signed and what we want akati abamu badde bagamba tebajja kuzikuwa well mufaayo ki oba tebazituwa kale balimu kuzituwa but point is the law says we need to have access to such information. Why should we be in a country already the country is indebted 50%